It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, that's true. How you been doing?
My bad. Sporadic week. Thought I'd be more available than I was.
That's okay.
But
That's okay. No problem. No problem. Happens. Well, maybe you can tell me what we want to focus on today. Just it seems that you made a switch to the tank at the moment, or what is the
yeah,
story so
so
far?
I was I was on a scrim team for a while, right? We did fine in MRC, got 128, and then this next MRC came up, and as it was coming up, my team was like, "Yeah, we're kind of too busy with work." So we had to make a new team, and I was like, "Fuck it." My hero pool is just awful for, like good play for like MRCs and stuff like that. So I just decided to make a switch to a role that like magic is similar to how tank players can be, assuming that you don't go turbo dive, which I've learned like so many playstyles on her that I can kind of train like move it over to other characters. So I wanted to play Hulk because he's cool and he's hard. And I like the cool hard characters for some reason.
That makes sense.
And
That's
I
good.
subject myself to it. But I was like, melee characters on tank are good, and I like melee characters, so I'm just gonna do that now, I guess. So I'm
That's
making a role swap,
nice.
and
Mhm.
yeah, in the VOD I sent, I only play it for one of the 4 rounds, unfortunately, but I always go to Thor as my comfort tank, so I end up doing that as well.
Okay, so what tank we want to focus on the most at the moment, or do we want to do two tanks at the moment?
I mean, if we look at the Thor, that's fine. But I really do just want to figure out this Hulk character. I guess I could pull up like other rounds from other games as well,
Yeah, of
but
course.
I just cannot figure him out. Like I think I have an idea of it, but I don't know how to like I don't know what is a good versus a like okay play. Like I don't know what's the how I should be looking for the optimal option. That's what I'm struggling with. My decision making really.
Makes sense. What do you struggle with exactly when you talk, when you say optimal play? What is that about? Is it maybe your target priority? Maybe is it just how you use your cooldowns? Anything? What do you
It
think?
it kind of feels like it's like everything because part of like every part of his kit, like the decision you make is based off of a cooldown you have or a cooldown they don't have, and the way that you like approach the problem, right? But I like I feel like I might be misusing the bubble at times. I might be misusing the like stun, and then because of that, I think that I have like the wrong thought process on what I want to do. But like I also don't like fully understand his role because it feels like when you start playing him, it's like, oh, he's just Winston, so you dive. But then you play him more, and it's like, wait a second, I'm not supposed to do that all the time. I blow up every single time I do it. So then like it's finding the right time to do it. But then like I also don't know when the right time is because every time I did it on a DPS, it was to kill somebody, and I don't do that anymore. So it throws me off.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think the big thing to keep in mind as a tank, generally speaking, and well, you're totally right. There might be some similarities to just how you play a Winston, but because you have unlimited mobility with the jump, almost you can jump whenever you want to. I think this is one of the hardest things to just know when you fully go in and just make sure you commit to the dive, or do you want to just force out a couple of things and then dive after? I think that definitely a lot of things about the Hulk and the pretty one of the high skill ceiling characters probably at the moment. So you're definitely right. We can take a look at the water with you. Maybe you can figure out how you can be more valuable at the moment, and should be okay. What is your rank so far on the tank roll?
So I did make an account and not make an account, but I got one of my like low rank accounts and I just grinded it to hell. And I got to GM3 before I slowed down and was like, okay, now I should probably like look at how things are going. And then I started scrimming a whole bunch. So like what I sent you was a scrim with my main team. I started trialing for a bunch of teams just like I didn't want to like get into the team. I just wanted to get more scrim experience, which is like definitely a choice of all time. But I got to GM3. That's where we're sitting.
That's okay. That's okay. I think something we can definitely work with going forward. Figure out how to be even getting more value in the long term. That's all good. Okay, so just want to figure out pretty much everything, like you said. Maybe is there anything else what you want to add before we start looking at your replay?
Uh, I guess I could throw. We could just skip the Thor portion. I could throw a second replay in if we need to talk about something else. Other than that, yeah, no, I don't have anything.
Okay, okay, makes sense. Makes sense. I think the biggest change to think about when you go from DPS to the tank overall is always keeping in mind that your job is not to get kills, rather, but absorb pressure and do it at the right place at the right time. That is one of the biggest things. And you can get a kill, but you just have less burst potential compared to the DPS, so something to keep in mind. But even as DPS at the highest level, I still think you need to think about the resources, what I'm forcing, of what space we're fighting for, so this becomes more valuable, I think. Okay, let's take a look at that replay you sent me. I'm gonna screen share and yeah, let me know.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
see the stream?
I can see it.
Okay, perfect. Now let's start with this one. Yeah, custom game. Usually custom games is also partially on your planning as a team too. Well, it's a big part to be honest. So that is something what we might talk about too. Are you? Well, I assume you, based on what you said, you're gonna be playing Hulk in the Lone Zone for tournaments too. I mean, just in the scrims too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Then something worth to talk about as well is just partially the planning with the team, all this stuff, just whatever you can communicate, because overall you decide the engagement a lot of times, decide when to go in, whatnot, so this can be pretty good. And your bubble actually is pretty team oriented too, so if you do engage and you use the bubble for yourself, but it could be also using it for someone else who's engaging with you, that is really good. It's just similar to the Winston bubble in Overwatch a lot of times. If we synchronize it with something like Tracer, Genji, anyone who can use the bubble, you can help them out to do more bursts. So I think this can be pretty valuable too. Okay, can
Okay.
you see the stream?
Question, real quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
question.
can. So the way you said that sounded weird to me. So should I use my bubble for people or with people?
It shouldn't
Like
be
if I want to make
for.
a play,
Yes, it shouldn't be for. It just added value in series, especially if we're talking about the scrims. What gets you higher value? Self bubble or self bubble plus someone to bubble together with you, right? It's just kind of similar the way you think. When I would play Winston in rank, obviously I prioritize myself, but if I know people, especially just we would, well, when I would be around like top 500 all the time, I know pretty much everyone there, and we would just try to communicate together, try to jump on the same target, and it's also valuable for them, so I'll wait for their rotation, and it's not necessarily that my main focus is to enable them, it's also enable me, but it's also nice if I enable someone too. That's how I would put it, to be honest. It's just more
okay.
comprehensive, especially at the team level, 100% important. Your engages really should evolve around the bubble, especially if you talk about the full dive. If you're playing, it seems that there's gonna be different composition here, not like, well, you have Wolverine anyway, so maybe you can sometimes synchronize with them as well. But overall, this is really good if you can synchronize with someone, just to force out the enemy resources. But yeah, we can start watching, I guess. Yeah, or is there
All
anything else
right.
you want to ask, or
I'll have questions more later, I guess. Not right now
Okay,
yet, though.
okay. So, because it's a team setting here, that's a scrim, my question to you, what are you guys' plans been here? What you guys been planning so far?
So we didn't really talk too much about like roughly a plan. We were also having trials here, so like we were just kind of trying to feel them out.
Hmm.
But my plan walking into it would be like kind of contest cart, make sure that Groot is like able to be where he wants to be, and then I can probably just play cart and then jump safely. Uh, we didn't have anything crazy except that backpack would be off angling, trying to get some of the pressure from me, like or trying to like get something from what I do, and then try and follow up on wolf pulls early. We didn't have like a overall plan.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But, do you usually, when you guys play as a team, you guys plan out? Well, we probably do, but I just want to hear how planning typically looks like when you play as a team when it's
The
full established.
the depth of our planning goes about as far as like how generically each character will function in a fight and if that would be good. We don't really have a fight plan. We have like just a rough estimate of what the comp will do and how we win, but we don't ever think about ways that we could like stop the enemy comp from winning.
Hmm. That's okay, to be honest. As long as you're able to solve what are you guys doing, first off, and set up your own pressure, that is the biggest priority. Ideally, if you also if you can add to what the enemy team is trying to do and how to stop their win condition, this is also nice, but it's always good if you can figure out the proactive stuff first off, I think. Okay, yep. I think it's just really important if you guys scrim in long term, just mention whatever is the big stuff, play around so it makes it easy. Like why yeah, like let's start with why do we play Hulk here? Hulk in the first place. What is that about? What's that for? Why not any other tank?
Well, I mean, the dumbest answer I can give you is because the team up is awesome.
Yeah.
The second dumbest answer I can give you is because I think he's cool.
Yes.
But like what I provide here is really awkward because there's just better options for doing what I am doing because I could just be playing mag. But I
That's true.
like the backline pressure that like the get in your face backline pressure. And then like I guess it doesn't really match well with Groot, which is my issue. But the function of the character in the scenario would like help out with pulling enough aggro from my flanking DPS to try and get him to manage a pick here, which is like that's a typical like go-to answer for me is that I like my flanking DPS to flank.
Nice. Okay, no, that sounds reasonable. I think especially the comfort pick. If you if we just prioritize that, I think it's okay. Obviously, we can also play even better characters, but overall, even though you don't play meta, but you play real good on the character, I think that's fine. But this is what you mentioned. This is really important. What the stuff you play around, what are the cooldowns or big burst damage you play around, because you use a tank providing space in the area and you provide space to absorbing pressure overall, so attention goes to you. And if the attention goes to you not at the right place, where you DPS are not able to do stuff, that might be complicated. So this is really important, especially as a team setting here. If you know, if you guys want to play around, like we play around the big burst of the Namor, we play around the Wolverine burst, yeah, we play around the Groot wall, all this stuff, at least name 3 cooldowns you play around, which you can base your pressure off, and ideally your pressure should be there. It's kind of meeting in this location, so the enemies are absorbing. They start paying attention to you while maybe they look around, but if they looked around, then your big stuff should be getting value, like whatever it is. Yeah, does it make sense?
Kinda.
Kinda. Okay. With that in mind, anyway,
Well,
we'll
we
watch.
might see an example of it.
Yes,
So yeah.
we'll watch. We'll watch. Yeah, but this is important. You just figure out the big cooldowns you play around. Like you said, the flank DPS. It can be any other ability. That's fine. But let's keep watching. Oh, okay. Let's look. Right. So we start. This is just okay. Normal pressure on the tank. That's okay. They get really low. then kind of stay, push, push. Then we are out using the bubble here. Right, seems a little bit forced because of the damage we took, but it's fine. Keep playing, and yeah, so this is just wait for the moment when the fight, once the fight develops, once there are gonna be some problems. Right, do you usually communicate with the team what are you doing at the moment? Like, what are you looking for? Or how it
Uh,
looks like?
and this, I was still like, I wasn't saying anything here, mostly because I was thinking that like there's not much happening. There's not like a play I can really make aside
Mm,
from I'm gonna be on the tank trying to body block them.
okay, okay. Do you communicate the time when you use a bubble?
No.
Not as much. So this might be one of the things, but we'll talk about it later as well. I'm just gonna write down for now, like comms bubble. It's pretty important. But yeah, let's keep watching. Maybe it's not gonna be as important later on. Right. Okay. Jump to an angle. Sure. Pressure their back. Something happens. Sure. Yeah, team starts rotating, bubble, this is reasonable. Okay. I just wait, the fight is pretty long. There are a few things to pick up on for sure. But yeah, okay,
Okay, this is a question I've always had.
yes.
Still unsure about this. When the fuck do I ult? I'm so confused.
Well, mostly there's a big, simple answer. It's basically similar to the Winston ult, in my opinion. So you're trying to provide the space. It's just the location where you're fighting. You jump in and fight with the normal HP, and then you usually need to somewhat of a extended HP later on because you're getting blasted. Yeah, there's a lot of attention on you, so it's like your second life a lot of times. There might be some niche times, and that's the same as the Winston. I would play Winston, and I can just try to corner somebody and then try to get a kill on them real quick. Maybe push them off the map. Maybe they're pretty low. That's fine. But mostly 90% of the cases, it's gonna be you just making sure that they absorb pressure better. If it makes sense. We'll get back to that. I just wanna make sure the fight is finished. The fight is really long, right? Right now it seems. Okay, actually trying to. Yeah, not sure you have to. You don't have to even go there. It's fine. Yeah, maybe you can escape from there. Yeah. Oh, you guys are losing this fight.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
so
and then
this is
my
when
whole team blows up.
yeah, so this is when some of the problems start. Okay, let's look at the engagements, and I think it's can be good to look through the lens of what I discussed before, because it plays a team, especially, and because just generally speaking, as a role as a tank, making sure that they absorb the pressure in the right space where your team is able to do stuff. This is also quite important. Like each time we're trying to jump and just where trying to jump to. So the idea is when we're trying to fight, we need to make sure that most of our cooldowns, whatever we invest in, are getting traded in the area where most of your teammates can do active stuff, especially if we're talking about your, let's say like this here, the Namor, or we're talking about the Wolverine. Want to make sure that whatever the space you're providing, those guys can benefit out of it in a way. So in theory, I think with this composition, it's usually gonna be okay if you sort of fight for the same area. You don't have like too much mobile team composition. Most of the time you'll be fighting for the same area with your team, but sometimes your DPS might get picks on their own, or maybe even you can get a kill on an isolated target. It seems because of the mobility you got. But so far, just look at each jump and you'll tell me what do you think. So like why the jumps? Why do we bubble? So let's just go back. For example, here. Okay. So this is when we invest in big stuff right now, right? So you jumped. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. You actually tell me like why do we jump here, for example? It's just
I know that
no one
Hulk
else. Hmm.
generally wants to, like get people off of the off angle.
Yes.
And so I saw somebody on the off angle, he was isolated. And I was like, okay, cool. I can go fight him, and then I'll force him out, or I will back up and then sustain very easily because all my support's right there, and he's walled.
Okay.
So I'm chilling.
That is good. That is really good. And you're totally right. Most of the time, your targets will be exactly the most active angles in a way where, well, typically they take off angles. Sometimes it might be something like even flanking. Yeah, you can also just jump on them as well. I think that's right. Okay. What about this bubble here? What is that about?
Okay. Uh, it was mostly to support the wolf grab because I wanted, like he grabbed people. I know there's a few abilities that can mess with it, or like he can have like some kind of like impedance. So I just wanted like ensure that he could get the grab fully off.
Perfect. Perfect. And this is really good. And that's why I'm asking those questions, because all the stuff you're doing, it should be you enabling big pressure of your team. Like, let's put it this way, yeah. I'm enabling something big. Okay, I'm gonna write it down. Enable big pressure. Or disable big pressure as well. And the answer so far, it's been decisions wise, it's been good. Yeah, you did disable the big pressure on the off angle. Now enable my big pressure. And this is at all times gonna be your simple thought going forward. Just thinking, how can I do all of this stuff better? Okay, and I just keep watching. Each time when you do something, is it either enabling your big pressure or is it disabling the enemy's big pressure? Or maybe both. I think it's even more ideal. But yeah, let's just at least differentiate to those on those two. Okay.
Uh,
So for example,
I
there,
was
what do you
trying
think?
to enable the R pressure with the wall and the Wolverine.
Yeah. So it's just trying to stun somebody so we can wall them off, or
Oh, yeah, I mean the stun was partially just to lower the damage coming in.
oh yeah.
Mostly that actually. I just saw the button I had and I was like, I'm getting shot by that guy and he's scary. So I shot at him.
Why do you jump past that wall? What is it about?
I wanted to get to the back line so I could like reduce how much they were providing.
But
Put a wall in
why?
between us.
What space? What are you trying to disable or enable right now? I mean,
We walled off their
yes.
group, so I wanted to pull resources from that group.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, the thing is, it's just a little bit unfortunate too. If that would be that, I think that's perfectly fine. It's just unfortunately they still can kite a little bit. So this is where sometimes when you just go a little bit too deep, you might get your own cooldowns forced. You might do that because you're pretty well. You can always jump, but then you want to be careful with committing like this. Yeah, it's okay to jump for a second because you saw the commitment that the wall. Yeah, that makes sense. A little bit unfortunate. Maybe you can place it better on the corner there, but doesn't matter. Still, when we try to commit after this wall, we shouldn't commit like hard on anything. It's usually making sure that you do it in a slower paced way. I'm thinking how to put it. So okay, we have two rivals so far. Fighting most active angle, enabling your big pressure. Okay, let's maybe like make it this. Disable big pressure and enable big pressure. I think that's good enough. Now, the thing with the Hulk, and you probably heard about this before, and just any dive characters in general, is understanding when do you have to soft engage and when do you have to hard engage. Okay, does it make sense? Do you know what that means? All the soft hard engage.
Yeah, when I was learning Winston, soft engages were like quick leap, a little bit of damage, try and get a cooldown. You don't want to use like your bubble if you can help it, and then like just build resources.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like hard engage is like, all right, we want to do something now. My tracer is set up. I'm gonna go in, bubble, try and separate some healing, focus a target so that we can kill one with the tracer, and then from there snowball the fight.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Usually with a hard engage, we really will be committing something big. And in the case of the Hulk, most of the time it will be your bubble. Yeah, and that's why you can usually differentiate between those two stages. I think it's always, you want to understand, are we actively like just want to commit something because something big is happening, or we are just soft engaging like a little bit of damage and out instantly. And I think in this case, when you seen this, when those people are kiting, but you're committing still, yeah, there is like active damage. Well, maybe it's sort of fine, but the problem is that because we not able to kite later, it's like because of the wall partially, yeah, maybe because of the placement, later on it becomes hard engage. It becomes where you just use your bubble here, right? But it would be
Yeah,
more important when those guys actually walked in. Let's say we did the jump and then they actually start walking in, where it's important, where you also have those hard resources. Like we're talking about Wolverine grab, we're talking about the Namor just normal burst pressure. Yeah, it can be anything. This is when it would be really important, because now this guy is able to buy more space. So see, this is what I'm saying. We have to know just when do we actively commit and what our in case of soft engage. I think the active thing to look for then is make sure that you know how to kite, and you just so it makes it easy. So your bubble will not get forced. Let's put it this way. Okay. So I will write down soft engage, bait out something. Yeah, maybe a little bit of damage, but make sure bubble is there. Okay, because when we need it later on, like this guy goes in, you don't have the bubble. We're not enabling the big pressure, right? And this could be something you could be doing. And this is the main point. Yeah, you should be there, disable them, enable you, enable your team, right? So obviously that might seem like, oh well, it's a small mistake maybe with the cover, all of that, but this is really important. The decisions wise, just thinking, okay, what is it about, what I'm doing now based on the picture, because the game is really fast. But if you saw somebody walking past the wall, which has been here, then your decisions change. You cannot go towards the hard engage anymore. It's like, I'll give you an example. When you play Winston, when you jump on the high ground, we're usually fighting, let's say Gibraltar, or let's say Numbani. You jump top right or something. Do you remember Numbani or Gibraltar?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so usually when you jump, you never instantly hard engage unless there's a good reason for it. Yep, you kind of always want to take it slow and jump to the ledge first off. So you do a little bit of damage, but later on it can transition into hard engage where you actually use just trade most of your armor, trade your bubble. That will be fine because your Tracer, maybe Genji, they can follow up on you whatsoever. But if you see that the situation is not there, then you drop off the ledge. And this is the same thing here. You jumped over there, but you recognize, oh, the value of the cooldown is not there. You have to jump back. And that's why Hulk is so complicated, I think. It's one of the reasons. If we overstay just a second, you're getting punished for it. But at the same time, if you're so good with those timings, when you're in, when you're out, and all of that disables to either enables something, then it makes it easy. Okay? Doesn't make sense so far.
Okay.
We'll keep watching all the examples, but yeah, this is really important. A lot of theory too, but yes, does it make
I
sense?
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, perfect. It's like each time the bubble is traded not in the right way, this is buying the enemy team space. Okay, let's talk about this one. What do you think?
That one was poor. Yeah, it was like really weird because I had the grab queued up. He actually goes for it, which throws me off, and then I'm punching this guy, so then I think that there's gonna be like some damage or like someone's gonna look at me, so I just pop it, and then it's no one cares. I didn't think that that would happen.
Yes. So how do you think you should be playing this? What would be the good play? Keep in mind, you're also in the voice with your team too. Maybe something you can say within communication, something, I don't know. Like, what do you think? How you play it differently?
So I could stun him and set up for Wolf to grab him. Well, I could just bubble
I
Wolf if
like
he
it.
tries to grab him now. I could go backline since my Namor is pressuring.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have quite a few options here.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you're right. Actually, there are two options. Probably it's either Namor or this. I usually prefer if you can enable something directly with your bubble first. Probably. So this is more indirect enable. You jump, sell bubble, and this guy gets value. Or you enable this where you bubble yourself, but you also bubble your teammate. I think it's usually the bigger value. That's why I prefer if you have divers with you. That's really good. Just be paired with somebody. Obviously, selfish bubble, yes, good, but why not do also make sure we enable something big, especially if they're relatively doing something in the same space with you. So maybe stun this guy, fine. I think this way makes it easy. Communicate. I think this is a big thing. Use a tank. Maybe you was not communicating as DPS as much, but in team setting, you have to, 100%. You have to call out stuff, okay, I will bubble, or I will stun, something like that. Whatever, like we want to make connections to enable or disable, like what I'm enabling now, what I'm disabling now with my abilities, like call this out. Yep, call out what are you doing exactly. So I'll put it enable, disable. With a tank, it's always just three questions. What are you doing? When are you doing it? Where you're doing stuff. So this makes it easier. So this guy will actually get to grab somebody. You exactly communicate and tell him what you're doing next. And this bubble is not wasted, because now it's not good. Yeah, I don't know how you solve that. Yeah, maybe it's your Wolverine who likes to communicate that too. You can also talk about that too. But now it's not enabling something big. That's what I've put it. Maybe partially Namor, but you're not fighting for sort of this same space with them right now. You kind of, the Groot is over here. Well, it's sort of doing something, but it could be doing more. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, bigger value. So now we again two bubbles being not the best, yeah, and that's where they might get more space, and we do less damage to farm less soul charge too because of it. Each time. Yeah, what do you think about here? What is the point?
The
What are we doing?
the only thing I'm really accomplishing is just kind of existing back here to like scare them, but like there's not really a play going on for me enabling anything. I guess now that the Namor's coming in, something's about to happen, but
Do you know that this guy's gonna come in?
no, we need to communicate that better for
Yes,
sure.
100%. Because it seems that this guy, if he knew that you're diving, he could take deeper angle, maybe could more commit a little bit more. It's fine, but you have to communicate. That's one. And second, just keep in mind, just actively look and scout. Okay, where is that big pressure I'm enabling? And if it's not there, I can also communicate, tell them, okay, I will be doing this, okay, sweet one, because it's so important. It's so important to be on the same page for you. Because if you're not, then all the space you're providing, it might be not as useful. Well, it's still, this guy took advantage of that a little bit, but it could be even more, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, so at the end,
could have been a deeper angle with a better set of cooldowns.
yeah, maybe. Where's the bubble? Well, we're kind of trying to live here. Well, sometimes it's fine if there's nothing else to do. I would
So
still
part
say
of it was just like
yeah.
part of it was just like I'm kind of weak, and then the other part of it was like he can keep brawling and I'll get ult charge from this. So I was
Yeah.
like this is fine in my head.
And this is where I wanted you to see why. It's like two bubbles. It happened before too, right? It's just because you've been extended a little bit too much, and that was not synchronized with the big pressure like too well. Then your bubble gets forced. It's when exactly happened when the wall didn't get as much value. It jumped back, and now we bubble. But let's say you would have bubble now. Your Wolverine really likes it, I think. Well, this guy, yes, of course, they you want to help him out too. Maybe the Groot, they're fighting him. Fine, yeah, if you can save somebody's life, perfect. But your first priority is like this. If you can enable this sort of stuff a little bit more, be there, which we kind of are, but it's just they can also be more confident with how deep they can go too, if we can communicate that as well. I don't know, you guys can also experiment. I'm not too sure how deep you can go, to be honest, with all those plays with the bubble and the Wolverines and such, but that is something you have to do most of the time. That's why I give you an analogy to the Tracer Winston. Winston jumping in. If Tracer's not there, this is not ideal. If she could be there, like 2 seconds or 1 second, whatsoever. Sometimes, obviously, there are times when we not synchronizing the pressure at the same not using the same bubble, but yeah. Now, what do you think about this ultimate? So the Lancer, what we talked about as well. What are your thoughts?
I mean, if we use the Winston analogy, it's not great because I could have gotten more done. What I've heard is
Yes.
that it's like essentially Hulk's kill button, and I was like, using it at the start of the fight sucks dick because I get hit with every cooldown in the game. But if I use it mid fight, then I can maybe secure a kill while also getting out those cooldowns.
Hmm. Okay. So could it be getting more value in here, you think? Enabling, disabling? What are we doing now?
Well, I'm full HP right now, so I could have walked forward and then scared the shit out of them, got some cooldowns out, and then like my team has the time to sustain because it looks like the way we were playing, we were scared about that. And then I could have ulted after getting out more cooldowns to enable like the whole play, which like my wolf goes for something here,
Yeah,
but
because
then
see,
we
like,
get ulted.
now it's not doing a whole lot, I think. It does something, but this entire time, you can displace an enemy and read a bad position, which is not happening. So, like, your idea, because you have this physical displacement, displace them in a way so your big plays you enable can work better, right? And now, this becomes really complicated, I think. No, well, Wolverine is not there. Well, let's say you boop this guy in. Perfect. Wolverine works now. Let's say you boop somebody in your sidelines here. Perfect. This guy works now. Let's say you boop somebody towards your group. Perfect. And maybe you can wall this. Now there's like no big cooldowns to synchronize him with, right? It's just sort of, I'm going in, I guess, providing space. Okay, what are we doing? Yeah, like what is exactly? Sometimes it can be the kills. Don't get me wrong. I think even as a Winston, most of there will be times when you do that, but 90% of the time, especially as a team setting, I think you're just gonna be so much more valuable. So it depends. There are multiple
Yeah,
things. Something you need to figure out, like setup wise, comms wise as well. But I think right now yeah, we need to think more about enabling, disabling, all that stuff. Yeah. Did you have a question?
no, it was that like a stupid comment, but
Mhm.
the way that I've been playing Hulk is that I've been trying to go for kills with my ult because I spent time learning the juggles, you know, the carry people across the map and
Oh yeah.
be really annoying with a permanent stun. But
I just want to make this a little bit different. Give me a second. I think for some reason
playing on a
the second monitor is not responding now. Okay, now it should be good. Okay, I just making notes on the second monitor, but yeah, exactly. Like I said, the getting kills, I don't think it's too necessarily. You're right. You need to just make sure you provide something in the space where it's valuable for your team. First off, okay. Do we keep watching? Yeah, or any other questions so far?
no, you're good so far.
Okay, let's keep watching then.
I've picked up a new piece that I wasn't even thinking about, so that's a good start.
Okay. Now we are resetting. That's fine. For some reason, something is still. It's just for some reason there's something's off. Okay, I will check that later. Some settings are not there. Okay. Jumped in. Just this is what I'm. If we go back to what I mentioned before, soft engage typically first, and then can transition to the hard engage. Now, the point of the soft engage can also bait an enemy into the space where you can go into hard engage, and hard engages can be also used synchronizing with one of the abilities here. Like, let's say you jumped here. Okay, if this guy's gonna extend the pressure a little bit, or maybe you can wall somebody off, maybe Wolverine can grab something, this is fine. But make sure you have your bubble. I think this is gonna be really, really crucial most of the time. That's a good waiting, I think. Well, setting up on a high ground, fine. They walk in, help out with the space. Sure, sure. Well, what do you think? Is there anything we could be doing more, it seems? It's just, there's so much
I
pressure. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like inactive right now with it, but like it's like I stunned the Groot who's walking my team down. I could have done it sooner to save my wolf.
And you
I
see,
could just
yeah.
be swinging
Mhm.
because they don't have. I'm only looking at it now, but they don't have like the highest damage comp, so it's not like I
Mhm.
have to be super scared.
Exactly. Exactly. And you see what is there too. They exactly use the wall right now, so that is something you can think about. You somehow like can get value out of it too. So the big cooldown's present. I think you can keep fighting choke. It's fine. Maybe ideally if you have your bubble later on for whatever, like again Wolverine, or if you just save somebody, maybe you recognize you get a kill. That's fine too. But now just a little bit late, yeah, like we stay passive a little bit too long. That's, that's why I like Hulk again. It's just so important. Like sometimes people overstay in the fight, sometimes they don't stay enough, sometimes they engage late, and all these timings, that what is tough because you have unlimited mobility. You can jump all the time. You can do whatever you want to. Yeah, this time you just farm will charge. That's fine. That's okay. You can reset. What about the next? Actually, when this replay quite long, even for the short replay, but yeah, it's been a lot of Syria too, so that's fine. We're a new character right now. Anyway, hey, going in, sure. Okay, what do you think about this one, based on what we said?
Based on what we said, I'm not really enabling anything. There's nothing that is happening from my side, so there's no reason to force this. And then like I lose my cooldown.
How can you make it work? Then, what
Uh,
should you done?
I, s- I still have HP, and like my supports are looking at me, so I don't have to force my bubble. And then like jumping to this angle is fine
Yes.
if I just don't walk out in front of them like that.
Yeah. So kind of use this corner over here. That's what you do.
Yeah, like
Or
I could just chill here
yeah,
because I have big swings. I can build a lot of ult charge here.
yeah.
And then once I find out the storm, I can force her. If not, I could jump back to my team, or I could just keep swinging.
Yes. And see, and this is what soft engage does. It's a lot of times you jumping towards the cover too. Yeah, this is another thing which you do. You jump to the cover a lot, but just keep that in mind. You trying to bait out something with a soft engage. You bait out them in a way, so your big stuff can do something. Your Namor can do stuff. Your I don't know, Salak will be able to do something. Now, we trade this bubble with this space here, which is not is good for our team currently. But if you make them extend this way here, where they have to walk this way, and then you get the value of the bubble, this is gonna be better. So see, you probably also might be pushed out too, so you want to be careful with that too. Probably for that reason, you hold the jump if they're not commitment, they're not making a big commitment with something. If you recognize, well, this does nothing. It's kind of like an old days of Overwatch. Playing double shield compositions too. This reminds me of that a little bit because you're trading the shield with a space which is not relevant. But if we swing the corner, our entire team swings the corner here, then it becomes relevant. Unfortunately, it's not the case now, so it's fine. You have to just either stay here and bait, or if this is not happening, then I can always go back and do the same again. Repeat, maybe go from different side. But the map allows you to. It seems there's only one side. You guys coming from I don't know, like you guys can think, you guys can come up with the other anyway, like there are some options the way what you can do later on, but anyway, this bubble is now treated with something where big project is not happening as much. Eventually jump away, play cover, that's fine. Yeah. Right. Not sure we can do a whole lot. It's just Are you also Do you practice the juggle technique with a Hulk?
Yeah, I do. It's just really hard to pull off in game with every 10 CCs that the game has every lobby.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. When you usually decide to press your Q button here over just jumping and pushing the people away, I mean, just displacing them in general.
Asking why are you saying like it is?
What? So can you repeat that?
Are you asking like why did I ult, or are you saying like
Yeah, exactly.
the
Like, why
ult?
why not to just keep booping people? Why do you use Q right there?
Oh, the second thing? So it
Yeah.
was just to literally stun him for a couple seconds, which like I'm fine with because my team's on the up right now.
Mm,
So I'll just pull someone out of the fight for a bit because
mm.
I'm not gonna die.
Okay. Okay. If it would, that would be even fight. Would you just continue with the swings with the juggle?
I would just I'd do something different, cause but like I still wouldn't be against it. I still like to do it just because I think that if my support can like benefit from it, they can just farm ult right there
Hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
progress the fight. Because like it's happening to the other dude, but he's not taking nearly as much damage because my team can't damage him. But I can sit there and get my support ults while they can't. It's like an uneven trade unless I just am in such a bad spot that I blow up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, I think it makes sense in this case, especially when you have big advantage. Like, it's fine. You may just, well, especially the thing you said about dual charge. Well, maybe. Generally speaking, I think most of the time it will be more valuable if you can somehow displace the enemy physically, so it enables somewhat of a big pressure. If it's normal 6v6, I guess. But other than that, it's just most of the time if you, yeah, I think it's just like that. If you have an advantage or it's like too easy a kill opportunity, then maybe. But I'm not sure. Like most of the time, from what I've watched as well, what I observed, generally speaking, the more value has been with a boop displacement, like Q. This second thing, mm, not too sure sometimes when it can be valuable. Besides, when you have this big advantage whatsoever. I don't know. I don't know right now. You have to test it, but generally speaking, always keep the fundamentals in mind. If you're in normal fight, then I think it's fine. If you can just boop, displace people to help out the pink edition, whatever you got, then it's okay. Like, before, it was not the best for Wiz Ultimate for sure, but here, well, at least... actually, let's see, the start of it. Just so we can... Yeah, for some reason the cursor is not there. I don't know what happened. Okay.
Press alt.
Wait, did I press it? I don't think. Wait, I did press it. I was so sure I didn't. Okay, I forgot that this. I was in Overwatch replay so long.
Yeah.
The cursor disappears. Okay, now it starts. Yeah, let's just go back a little bit when it starts. It starts like here. Yeah, so do you think just starting the ultimate here, is it yeah, like what do you think? Just let's start with that. Just based on what we said before. Like when we come in, you farmed it pretty much here, and you jump in to get some space going, I guess. Is there could be bigger value with disengage first, or is
I
it
mean,
good
yeah, I
enough?
could have gotten a little bit more out of it, but I just kind of rip it because I was like, time to get a kill, and I know they used at least like their cloaks push, so I know that and I also knew my team was walking up, so I was like, all right, we're all gonna be like, able to use this angle, so why don't I just be scary in it?
Yeah. And you see how none of the scary things from your team can be used on anybody? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know the group was there. I'm a fool.
Yeah, so even let's say he's still there, it's fine if he commits, and the big things are affecting this Groot while you're busy with the backline. It can work. Some of the dive characters, they're totally capable of that stuff. You don't have to be in the same space with your team sometimes, as long as they get value with the big stuff. That's what is important. You don't have to sometimes directly enable the big stuff. You can do it indirectly, but now this is not happening. I think the big stuff is not like Yeah, it's not doing anything whatsoever. So you rather wait or bait stuff? Or so let's say they extend the pressure to where the team they actually can do something. So your Salak takes advantage of that, the Namor takes advantage of that, then you go, it'll be fine. I think. Like, why we do it this way too? Because you can also force out more things. We're talking about tanking. So getting killed is okay, but 99% of the time it's resource trade. Resource trade, I trade more than the enemy, I absorb more, and better place and better time. That's how I would put it. Okay, we still have some time left. I know it's been really long, a lot of series, 7 minutes only. But do you want me to look at any section a little bit more? Maybe any questions you got?
No, I get what you're saying. I think I just have to put it into use now. I've unlocked something I didn't know, which is good.
That's fine. Well, if we would summarize then how it would look like. What do you think?
So the thing I want to be doing, the biggest thing I learned was enabling versus disabling.
Hmm.
So like I want to enable my teammate while also trying to slow down or disable as much of their like pressure as possible. Uh, Soft engaging can allow me to get some of that. So like I could soft engage, get out a cooldown that could further like say I get invis push that could make my wolves grab more consistent. I could bubble my wolves grab, things like that. I could also soft engage and force out a cooldown for myself so that if I hard engaged, I could enable my Namor to flank or
Hmm.
my mag to focus the backline, and we could both get a kill. Um, and so yeah, enabling those, targeting the active angles, which I did a bit at least, not the whole time.
Yeah, it was just
Uh,
needs higher quality for sure. We need to think about all that. Just what are we doing? Enabling, disabling, wise, especially the ultimate too. In general, because it's pretty valuable. Because you can displace people better. That's what I think. But yeah. Anyway, yeah,
yeah,
continue.
that and then like things like trading cooldowns and resources instead of just like I will go get killed. I'm still freaking DPS brained. I gotta get rid of it. I'm so focused on getting kills that like I'm missing the resources that I should be trading.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. I really want to emphasize soft engage. So the main point of that is baiting enemy commitment, and commitment can be enemy repositions in a certain way, so your big stuff can do something. So like bait enemy out of position. I'll put it this way. You can also bait out the cooldowns. Obviously, you just the main point is is really make it easier somehow to for your team to do something with their big stuff, and you always go from soft engage to the hard engage later on if it's needed. If the soft engage didn't succeed, like let's say you was not able to bait, then you just repeat. You can go back and repeat because you have the jumps. You have unlimited jumps. You can always go back. You don't have to stay there and always commit. Yeah, like with the Winston analogy, you jump on the ledge, something's not happening. Okay, I just jump down on the ground. I don't even use the bubble, ideally. I just don't want to stay there. Okay, you can always disengage.
Yeah.
Then disengage. Yeah, this is important. What else? Enabling big pressure disable. Yeah, I like the disable, especially what you said about the angles. That's what your job is a lot of times. You're really good at this stuff. You always can punish the angles. So why not? This is good. This setup has been decent, I think. It just need to be, like we said, at the right time, at the right place. Communication, okay, specifically for the team. That's what I would look at more for sure. So yeah, what do you think? What do you be you doing with the communication then next time?
I'm just letting them know like what I'm gonna be enabling, when I'm gonna be going in, what I'm baiting out, and then like why I want to, or like whenever I want to ult, stuff like that. And then like fight plans, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so gonna be let's say call out big abilities. Well, for you mainly it's the bubble. Okay, I'm not gonna name it big abilities. Call out bubble when you want to use that. It's not like I use bubble now. You need to prepare, like prepare the play with that. You have Wolverine. Okay, perfect. Might enable that, or I can jump in at the back line, do something, so my Namor can do stuff. You also have to call out what, when, and where you do stuff, so your team can make preparations accordingly with their positioning. They can just move somewhere, so it's easier for them to enable, and they're not scared. Because a lot of times people they're not sure what's happening, like going forward. If you don't tell them where you're fighting, what are you doing, they cannot commit the play, the proactive play. Yeah, so it's really good if you can call this out too. And your idea before the match, always think what is the big stuff you play around? Play around cooldowns, big stuff you have. Ultimates, obviously, always play around those two, but if there are no ultimates, at least the big cooldowns I can enable at all times. I think this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I also have some of the Hulk replay recorded. I don't know if you want to just kind of watch Sutherland's or whatever discussed before. We can maybe spend around a few minutes to watch this one, how they do all the stuff I mentioned. I think they're pretty good with this stuff. I can just show you some of the example too, if you don't mind. Or do you have any
Yeah,
questions
sure. Let's
more?
do it.
Yeah.
Not really now. No.
Yeah, so this is one you can also watch later. It's one of the Overwatch players. You may know them. They've been playing in Europe. Actually, they've been starting off as Doomfist one week when there was DPS Doomfist. And they were on my friend list back in the day. Now they're top 50 tank, and Marura was playing for the team. I think they're doing pretty decent. So decided to record them, and they're quite good with all this soft hard engage stuff and really like enabling the right space. They even like now they standing, it might seem they're not doing much, but later on they exactly gonna be paying attention to angles, and like we said, they will also try to exactly like do something, do the big stuff. Like this guy is doing bigger pressure compared to anyone else. So I can be there, and I can even bubble. It seems like he's bubbling for his teammates here, but it can be fine in case if you're trying to save somebody's life. Like they failed a little bit, it seems. They could have just maybe saved this guy here, but it's always fine. If there's something critical, then obviously, why not? But a lot of times this might be happening anyway. The big pressure disabled. A lot of times we can do that, and because we can be anywhere, this is really good. Now, again, you'll see the paying attention to the angles, but the big part is just soft engaging first. Yeah, we always jump into the corner. That's a big part about the soft engage, and only later, if something big happens. On their team, I think it's, well, like, they have really poke team, to be honest. So any big poke damage, like from Namor, maybe Mantis, taking the flank sometimes off angle, you can also enable that, why not? Other than that, you're just trying to, yeah, like think at least, okay, this is big pressure, I can disable that. Anybody take an angle, usually on them, why not? Yeah, you're gonna watch later on, but I think might be good, some good example. Like here, I'm disabling the off angle, yeah, also, fine, okay? Also, see, like, ideally, if you can, try to make sure you jump back and you don't get your bubble force. Like, this is a little bit unfortunate, to be honest. Still, it's gonna be sort of fine because the enemy is not like fully reset with the resources, so it can be okay. But yeah, like we said, if you can bait them in a space like here where most of my stuff is active and keep fighting it and use the bubble for that space, unless there's a good reason, like, see, now we have big advantage, it can be fine, maybe. But my team is also picking this corner too, so it might make more sense, I think. And when the real fight starts, yeah, this is really like this is insane here. I think when you can enable, and if you can predict what are your active angles are and what are the active enemy pressure is gonna be with ultimates, if you combine that, this guy's taking angle, so most likely they will receive a lot of pressure. I know they have Doctor Strange ultimate, maybe we know they're close to Venom, all that stuff, yeah. So you might expect this guy to be pressured. So this is really like more of a decisions, yeah, and he's even waiting for that, sort of. He just kind of knows that this is probably gonna happen. That's really good stuff if you can exactly place the bubbles there. Yeah, I don't know. I just showed you some of this a little bit, but yeah, like I said, the angles really good to watch. The partially maybe watch more of the bubbles probably. I think still most of the players they still learn the hawk, to be honest. Then they're still not perfect with the bubble and everything, but yeah, I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of good stuff with the soft engage. Especially I will show you this example. Okay, this is good. Gonna be around here, I believe. It's gonna be when they jump right in the corner. So yeah, they exactly set up at the back, and then wait, patient. When my team's speaking, my big stuff is speaking, I'm going in, but first, my idea is to try to soft engage. So jump to the corner and make sure something's speaking my team. Yeah, and I'm not wasting my bubble. That's why they even jump back a little bit. Make sure they peeking harder. But then once this happens, then maybe they will be investing it. Right now, it's kind of your situation where the Lunar would use ultimate. You could still stay and probably punch something. They have high damage team comp, to be honest, too, compared to what you had. But anyway, you're
Yeah.
kind of waiting. Stuff is not. There's nothing big yet. Yeah, there's nothing to disable yet. But then later on, maybe like because we're committing harder, there's gonna be more pressure on me. I can actually start using the bubble. And still holding on that for really long. Yeah, you see, you exactly need to commit in the right space a lot of times. So this is perfect. Now, it doesn't matter too much. Like, this type of bubble, it's like if I walk out of the spawn and use my Winston bubble, and then you have the bubble next for the next engagement, I think it's fine. It's not as relevant. The enemy teams are
Yeah,
setting.
nothing was gonna happen in the cooldown time.
Yeah, so it's fine. Okay, do you have any final questions for today then?
No, I think I got it.
Okay, perfect. Then I will send you the summary, and if you're gonna have any questions later, let me know. So
Yes,
far,
sir.
yeah, good luck. Good luck with the matches. We may also look at your Thor or anything related. Like, I've been playing a lot of Thor too, to be honest. Well, actually, I've been playing a lot of Hulk too, but Thor more as well, so might help out as well too.
He just
Uh,
feels so good.
yeah. I think he's pretty fun. The Hulk is even high skill ceiling, to be honest, compared to Thor. With all this stuff we talked about, the mobility, but yeah, there are a lot of fun things at the moment. All right, then I will see you later, and good luck. Good luck on your games.